Chapter 15 of Short Stories for Short People. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jenny Hoops. Short Stories for Short People by Alicia Stuart Aspinwall. The Iron Dog. Arnold's father and mother had taken for the summer a big gray house near the big gray sea, and they had just come down. Behind the house, there was a beautiful garden, a wild, tangled garden, with more flowers than you can imagine, climbing and growing everywhere. In front, the green, smooth-shaven lawn sloped down to the very sea, and standing directly in the middle was a large iron dog. He was big. He was fierce. His tail stuck straight up in the air, and no dog had ever been known to approach him. Arnold's father, strange to say, did not appreciate his beauties, and asked the owner of the place to remove him. But as the man thought it would be a difficult matter, and as Arnold, who was delighted with the dog, begged hard to have him remain, his father at last consented. "I think that iron dog is the most beautiful thing here," said Arnold. "Then enjoy him to your heart's content," said Papa, smiling and kissing his little boy. And Arnold did enjoy him. He got on his back and rode him, whacking him hard with a stout stick. He brought him make-believe dinners and decorated him with beautiful daisy chains. In fact, the dog was in every way a most satisfactory companion, and they never quarreled. One night, Arnold's father and mother went to a dinner party. The house was several miles away, and they were not to return till 12 o'clock. "Bread and milk and one cookie for supper," said Mamma as she kissed Arnold good-bye. Supper time came, and with it the large bowl of rich milk and white bread, while on a small plate lay the tempting cookie. After supper, Arnold spent an hour playing with the white cat and her 3 kittens, and then he went to bed. But after Mary left him, he could not seem to sleep, but tossed and turned, fell asleep for a second, and then woke up again. "Mary, Mary!" he shouted. But Mary had gone out walking with one of her friends, and the lonely little boy called in vain. At last he got up, put on his slippers, and running to the window, which was wide open, looked out. The warm summer air blew softly in, and the moon, which was full, was flooding the whole world with a silvery light. Arnold could hear the sea at the foot of the lawn softly lapping the shore. Then he saw his friend the dog standing on guard on the lawn, looking bigger and more threatening than ever, his shadow reaching far off at one side. "I will go out into the silver world and see my dog," said he, "for Mary will not come to me, and I am dreadfully lonesome." So putting on his little red dressing gown, downstairs he ran into the library, through the tall glass door to the piazza, and across the lawn. Ah, how delicious it was! To his iron friend he ran, and mounting him, put his 2 warm arms about his neck, and stooping, kissed him gently between his ears. Just then the bell in the church at Marlscombe, a mile away, began to strike 10, sounding very loud indeed in the stillness of the night. While it was yet striking, Arnold became aware of something which frightened him so much that he almost fell off, for the iron dog's body beneath him had suddenly began to grow warm. Then, in a minute, his tail began to move, slowly, wagging from side to side. Next, he gave himself a tremendous shake, and then he jumped from the pedestal, A living dog. And just then the bell stopped ringing. Arnold screamed in his astonishment and fright. But the dog, looking back at him with friendly eyes, said,
"Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. I suppose you thought I was a common, everyday iron dog."
"I always thought you a very beautiful dog," said Arnold. At this the animal looked pleased.
"I am very glad, Arnold," he said, "that you happened to come out tonight. On every other night I am as other iron dogs. But on the first night of every month from 10 to 12, I am alive, and this is my night."
"Oh, I am so glad then," said the little boy, "that I came, for I should otherwise have known nothing about it."
"I will take you about with me," said the dog. "But first I must have some words with you. Never again whack me so cruelly with that horrid stick."
"Dear doggie, I will not," faltered Arnold. "I didn't know you could feel, you see."
"Do I then look like one who has no feeling?" said the dog angrily.
"No," said Arnold, "you don't, and I will never beat you again."
"Then," continued the dog, "don't mortify me by putting those silly daisy chains about my neck. I am ashamed of them. Make me, instead, a collar of the beautiful dogwood."
"Oh, no, that would poison us," said Arnold.
"What would poison us?"
"Dogwood."
"I would like to see the dog who would poison me." And he growled fiercely.
"I mean," Arnold hastened to assure him, "the plant would poison us."
"Oh," said the dog, mollified. "But come, we are wasting time, and I have a skunk to kill tonight. First, I must have a drink of water."
"Are you thirsty?" said Arnold.
"Indeed I am. Wouldn't you be thirsty if you had had no water for 4 long weeks?"
And Arnold admitted that he would. So the dog galloped to a watering trough, stopping on the way to bark at the moon, and a metallic bark it was, too. Then the drink began. Gurgle, gurgle, went the water through the hollow body. First the legs were filled, then the body, the head, and then the beautiful upright tail.
"There," said he, "that ought to last for some time. And now for my skunk, for there is that clock actually striking 11 already."
"Oh, must you kill the skunk tonight?" said Arnold, who did not at all like the idea.
"Certainly I must. Do I look like one who, having once seen a skunk, would let him live?"
said the dog, who really seemed a boastful fellow. "Indeed you don't," said Arnold heartily.
"I was almost upon him last month," continued his friend, "when he suddenly disappeared in a hole, and I had not time to catch him. Come."
So swiftly galloped the dog over stones and bushes, Arnold with his 2 arms about his neck, and wishing heartily that he was in his own little bed. But he was ashamed to ask to get off.
"We are getting near him,"
panted the dog, and Arnold was in a minute fully persuaded that this was so. "Oh, do go back," he begged. But his friend refused. Soon they beheld a small black and white animal flying across the field.
"Hurrah! We're in luck, Arnold. There he is."
But the iron dog had forgotten that the journey to the field was long and that time had flown. Before he could even begin the chase, to the boy's great relief, the big bell began to toll the hour of 12.
"Arnold! Arnold!" cried the poor animal, skunk and everything forgotten. "'Tis the hour! I must reach my pedestal before 12 has fully struck, or I shall turn into iron wherever I may be."
"1," said the bell. "Hurry then!" screamed Arnold, and the dog began his flight. He galloped, he flew over stones, walls, and bushes. 2. On over the shallow brook that was hurrying to the sea, he flew with one bound. 3. It was for his life he ran. "You'll do it, but faster, faster!" screamed Arnold, who was as much excited as he. 4. 5. On, dear dog. 6. 7. Alas, there is still one field more to cross. 8.
"Oh," he panted, "I should so hate to be found off my base."
9. Shall I get off? Said Arnold.
"No, your weight is nothing. Don't leave me."
10. See, shrieked Arnold. There is your pedestal. You'll reach it. But the dog's iron joints were already stiffening and creaked as he ran. He began to grow cold, too, poor fellow, and his eyes, losing their bright alert look, grew hard and dead.
11.
And the pedestal was reached. Here we are! And Arnold, jumping down, pushed the dog toward it. One bound now, and he was on.
12.
Said the clock. Dear, dear doggie, I am so glad, so very, very glad, said Arnold, hugging him and dancing about him in great delight. But the poor creature could make no answer, for he was again a stiff, cold, iron dog. Arnold tried, but in vain, to push back one poor leg that had not quite had time to get on, but stuck straight out behind. Then, tired out with exertion and excitement, and with one arm about the cold neck of his friend, the little boy fell fast asleep. But I am glad to say that his nap lasted only for a moment, for fortunately his father and mother were just coming home as the clock struck 12, and looking across the lawn, recognized in the bright moonlight the small figure in the red gown. "'Tis Arnold!" they cried, and stopping the coachman, ran across the lawn. "Little boy, what does this mean?" they asked. And Arnold, waking up, told them the whole wonderful story. End of The Iron Dog. Recording by Jenny Hoops.